Hey guys, sorry I got rudely interrupted. My mother was next door and she just came over here unannounced and rudely interrupted our last live stream. So I had a couple of DVDs more to show you before I got into my classical music collection. Dragon Ball Z, Bardock the Father of Goku, and Bubba Hotep, the greatest Elvis movie ever made. It's funny because it's like you got Elvis, you got a crazy black guy that thinks he's JFK, and they're in a nursing home and they're fighting the mummy. So, and it's got Bruce Campbell, so playing the king. Can't beat it. So, anyway, let's go over here. This is all my this isn't all my classical music because I burnt a bunch of them, but this is all my classical music that I bought, if that makes sense. Okay, here we go. Beethoven's greatest hits. I started. Beethoven's my favorite composer, and I have a video of Beethoven if you want to check him out. And obviously, he changed my life, man. When I listened to him, he got me into classical music. And I'll move over here so the glare's not there. But this is just random Beethoven stuff. My first classical music album, my first artist I got into from that genre. Beethoven's Fifth and Sixth Symphony. And Beethoven, to me, Beethoven's Fifth Symphony, aka dun 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 dun. That is, in my opinion, the greatest classical music piece of all time. That's his best symphony. Every single movement is a masterpiece. All right. Beethoven's piano sonatas. In my opinion, and yes, Chopin was great and Liszt was great. But Beethoven, to me, was the greatest piano player of all time. This is four of his best sonatas. The Pathétique, obviously the Moonlight, the most famous one. The Appassionata, and the Waldstein. All of them are of which are classics. Obviously, the Moonlight's my favorite. I know it's a boring cliche choice, but so what? Okay, this is the most gruesomely underrated Beethoven symphony. It's Symphony Number 2. In my opinion, it's the first so-called. Everyone says that his third symphony was the first, where he created the romantic genre, but to me, it was his second symphony. All right, Beethoven's Seventh Symphony. Probably one of the best second movements ever. Actually, the second movement, usually the second movement, if anyone listens to classical music, and my taste may be different, but most of the worst parts of classical music is the second movement, because that's usually the slow movement, and sometimes it's boring and it floats in the air, but this is one symphony, the Seventh Symphony, where the second symphony, it's really dark and gothic, is actually the best part of the whole symphony. Beethoven's Symphony 3. That's the only one of Beethoven's symphonies I consider overrated. It's good, like all of Beethoven's symphonies are must listen to, but it's not the best I ever heard. Have you listened to Nick Gurr? Nick Jur? I don't guess I have, man. But the Eighth Symphony that's also on it, man, that's a gruesomely underrated one, man. Hey, Junior and Funny Guy and Jason. Once again, as always with this subscribe. I would love for you guys to subscribe, but if you're gonna unsubscribe later, don't subscribe at all. Don't waste my time if you're not gonna stay subscribed. But if you're gonna stay subscribed, then subscribe, baby. Jimmy Kimmel DM'd me a couple of his balls. That is impossible because Jimmy Kimmel has no balls. But the Eighth Symphony, that is a masterpiece. And that's one of Beethoven's simpler symphonies, and no one ever talks about it among his best, but I love it, man. The Grosse Fugue, one of Beethoven's weirdest pieces of music. You okay? Because John Madden, I don't know what to say about that. I don't know what to say about that, man. But Grossfug, one of the weirdest string quartets ever, and also the Fourth Symphony. Probably his worst symphony, to be honest with you. This, however, is his most famous. That's Beethoven's Ninth. Obviously, the Ode to Joy is in there. Send goats. I don't have any goats. But the Ninth Symphony, it's an epic masterpiece, obviously. I don't think it's his best symphony. I obviously said that Fifth Symphony is his best, and I stick by that. And I actually like his Second Symphony better, too. But, yeah, the Ninth it deserves its reputation. Sticking with the Beethoven theme, we got Beethoven's Fifth Piano Concerto, aka the Emperor Concerto. And also have a couple of overtures. Now we got some Bach, baby. I love me some Bach. Obviously, Bach's the greatest Baroque composer. And this is the Brandenburg Concertos. This is the greatest pieces of concertos ever written, as far as I'm concerned. Samuel Barber, a more modern composer. This is his 3 essays for orchestra, as well as Medea's Meditation. All right. Brahms' Requiem. I do not like... I know... What's up, dude? You still on the Salvia? I don't know what that means either. But I don't like classical vocal music typically, because I don't like that opera screeching. But I love me some requiems. And obviously requiems are classical, it's basically music you write for funerals. So they're dark and depressing. And this here is Brahms's Requiem. And it is one of his best works. Another Bach. This is the Art of the Fugue. That's organ music. Well, I'll get to that later. More Bach, 4 concertos for various instruments, but the highlight is the harpsichord concerto. I love the harpsichord. I think it's the most underrated keyboard instrument. Bach was the greatest organ player of all time, and this is his best organ pieces. By the way, I have videos for Bach. You got any metal CDs? Yes, I do, buddy. I have a lot of metal CDs. Thank you, Steph. Yeah, Curly Heart, I think you were on my last one. I got a lot of metal CDs, but I already covered them in a different live stream. So, I'm not going to get to them here, but what kind of metal music do you like? Hey, Alex. What kind of metal music do you like? Let me know in the comments section. Curly Heart, or anyone else for that matter. Favorite metal band? My favorite metal band, that's hard. Metallica, in my opinion, is the greatest metal band, but as far as favorites, God, I really can't say. It's hard. I love Iron Maiden, Black Sabbath, Rammstein, Lacuna Coil. I like Gwar, Megadeth, and Slayer. Well, I like one of those. I gotta be honest with you, man. Slayer is really technically good. I mean, they can really play the instruments, but I'm a Christian and I just don't like the satanic crap. But in Gwar, they're kind of cringe. They're not cringy. They're kind of gimmicky. But Megadeth, yes, I do love me some Megadeth. Especially the early stuff. Dave Mustaine's a really cool guy. And the Deftones are one of my favorites also. POD, yes, I do like POD. I'm going to do a little short about them soon. Definitely, they were the first, Christian metal band that was actually good. So, yeah. I learned about Gwar through Beavis and Butthead, SNES, and Genesis. If you're talking about the band Genesis, they're one of my favorite bands. Anyway, back on topic. Thanks for talk. What about Creed? Here's the thing about Creed, guys. Everyone says they're one of the worst bands ever, and I don't buy that. I mean, there is so much worse music than Creed. I can't say I'm a fan, but they do have a few songs that I do like. If they're not terrible like everyone says they are. But I'm not a fan of their music, but I do like a few of their songs. I have nothing against them personally. Mendelssohn and Dvorak's piano trios. Debussy's one of my favorite classical composers. He's kind of like, if you can call classical music, I was told they were somewhat of a Creed. They're Christian adjacent. I mean, they're Christian in their beliefs, but they have a couple of songs that are kind of that way. But I wouldn't call them a Christian metal band. Now, if you're talking about POD is one. Debussy, if classical music was psychedelic, Debussy would be the psychedelic. I love me some Debussy. Great impressionist classical music. Arcangelo Corelli's Concerto Grosso and Trumpet Sonata. It's TV time. Chopin's Greatest Hits. I love me some Chopin. Just because I said Beethoven was better doesn't mean I don't love Chopin. It's like John Lennon and Paul McCartney. I like John Lennon better, but I love me some Paul McCartney too. One does not exclude the other. Aaron Copland, Billy the Kid, Rodeo, and Appalachian Spring. Billy the Kid is one of his best works, and I liked it. Yeah, thank you, Nev Fan the Great. I appreciate you, buddy. And yeah, I do. Anyone who comes, I'll talk to you. If I ever get big like one of them famous guys, I probably won't be able to keep up with the comments. But I'm a small YouTuber now, so yeah, I love to. And some of the stuff that people say has nothing that makes no sense. But I will answer everything, man. Like this one guy asked if I like gay sex. I don't know where that came from. I like girls just fine. Granted, they don't like me very much, but I love me some girls. And I don't know, I don't know if he was trying to hit on me or what, but I did answer him though. Hey girly, what you... No, whatever. Anyway, Chopin's The Complete Etudes. All right. Hector Berlioz, Symphony Fantastique. That's an interesting one because he was high on opium when he wrote it. And there's a neat piece at the end where he has a Black Sabbath, Black Mass, I should say. And there's like witches at the end of it. It's a really cool piece. And Holst, The Planets. That's one of the... I love Holst. He's gruesomely underrated. That's one of the better what they call suites. He's talking about his CDs, yeah. Grieg, Peer Gent Suite. You know that that's Grieg. And that's the Peer Gent Suite. And also that Pretty Morning music as well. Okay, whatever. Ravel's Greatest Hits. That's Maurice Ravel. Probably the greatest impressionist composer besides Debussy. Dvorak's Seventh Symphony. I already said I love Requiems, and I do. Hi, Glader. Love from North Korea. Man, from everything I hear, North Korea sucks, so have a good one. Anyway, I already said Requiems. Most of them are really dark and depressing, or it's almost like it's music to burn in hell to. But this one is from a guy named Gabriel Fauré, and this Requiem is just gorgeous. I mean, this is like Kim's My Dada. Kim Jong-il or Kim Jong... Oh, I got a joke for you. If you had a dictator who was a porn star, what would you call him? Kim Jong Un. All right. Enough of my corny jokes. But this requiem, this is like music to go to heaven to. This is the most beautiful requiem I've ever heard in my life. Just beautiful. Brahms' Fourth Symphony. That's Brahms' best symphony. Everyone loves Brahms. Himmler, Adolf Himmler. Do you like any video game music or nah? I've liked video game music before. I don't know any particular. Kim Jong Wong Zin. Adolf Himmler. Let me ask you this. Is that your real name? Or is that you're trying to be edgy by adding Hitler's name with Himmler's name? Let me know in the comments. I did a Hitler video, by the way. Not a pro-Hitler. But I did I have a series called Portraits of Evil. The cool thing about my channel is I do a little bit of everything. I do whatever the hell I want. I do music, I do anime, I do movies, I do cute dog videos. I'm even branching out into baseball and serial killers. So I did the first ones. I have a series called Portraits of Evil, and that the first two versions were Hitler. So if you're a Hitler fan or what, I guess you should check it out. It's not pro-Hitler, though. George Gershwin, he was neat. He combined... Do you like the video game Doom? I have played it before. I don't remember much about it. I do like Resident Evil. And I hear that the House... gosh, what's that one? House of the Dead was pretty good. But Gershwin, he combined jazz music with classical music. And Rhapsody in Blue, American in Paris, and the Piano Concerto. That's George Gershwin. He also did a lot of famous Broadway-type songs that you probably heard of before. Haydn, the father of the symphony. Sankey, I don't know what to say to that except this. Symphony number 94 is my favorite symphony from Haydn. And also the Military Symphony, which is number 100, and the Clock Symphony, which is 101. Haydn was basically Mozart before Mozart, kind of. Handel's Water Music. I can speak a few German words. I agree, Adolf Himmler. I agree. Yeah, that's right, healing through energy. Where was I? I know a few German words because I'm a big Rammstein fan, but ish is I, Mog I don't know, and dish is either do or me, I think. Tell me if I'm wrong. You're obviously German. List Hungarian Rhapsodies. Mozart Greatest Stuff. This is an awesome collection of Mozart. You got the Ford Symphony number 40. You got number 41, which is the Jupiter Symphony. You got the piano hey guys, just wanted to say Netaman. There's a lot of Christian guys commenting. Hello, my brothers. I'm not super religious, but I am a Christian. Symphony number 40 and 41. The Piano Concerto number 20 and 21. Oh, thank you, Adolf Himmler. And his clarinet concerto, his flute and harp concerto, his horn concerto number 4, a little night music, some requiem, and a mass. All of this on one Mozart. So, if you want to get into Mozart, that's the collection you need, brother. Speaking of Mozart, this is Mozart's kid symphonies. Obviously, Mozart, he was making symphonies when most of us were in kindergarten, and these are his young man symphonies, so-called. Christianity isn't a relationship; isn't a religion; it's a relationship. Well, that's nice, Morgan. Camille Saint-Saëns Symphony Number 3, which is the organ symphony. I like Muslims, but not those who denied Jesus and betrayed him. Muslimans. Jews? Is that what you mean? Prokofiev or Prokofiev, I can't pronounce it, it's Russian. Romeo and Juliet, and his 6th symphony. Okay, let's see how many of these I have left here, guys. We're actually about done. I have a lot more rock CDs. Is there any other metal bands that you guys like? And I'll tell you if I like them or not. Someone asked about them. I can't remember what his name was. The Best of Gershwin. That's more of his like Broadway songs. Mendelssohn and Brahms violin concertos. Mozart's 38th Symphony and Sinfonia Concerto in E flat major. The Rite of Spring by Igor Stravinsky, one of the creepiest classical music pieces ever. Mussorgsky's Pictures at an Exhibition, conducted by Ravel. And Prokofiev's Lieutenant Jesuit or something. I don't know what you call that. But Rachmaninoff's 3rd Symphony and Isle of the Dead. That's a tone poem. All right. Robert Schumann. I mentioned this on my last live stream. Schumann was literally crazy. He actually... I'm from America, Himmler. But Robert Schumann, he went insane, literally. He actually thought ghosts were telling him what to write. And he actually died in a lunatic asylum. And by the way, if any of you guys are big classical music heads... I have videos on Bach, Mozart, Beethoven, and Tchaikovsky. Schubert's Unfinished Symphony. And that one's a weird one because that's his best symphony and he never actually finished it. He only had 2 movements of it, but it's still one of the best symphonies ever. And it also has the Trout string quartet or piano quartet, quintet. Sorry. This is Philip Glass, one of my favorite modern composers. This is him doing a classical adaptation of David Bowie's Hero Symphony, which is the Hero album done in a classical style. And I do like David Bowie also. Tchaikovsky, he's not known as a piano player, but his first piano concerto is one of the best ever. And also, it also has the 3rd one, but the first one especially is just a masterpiece. All right, we're almost done, guys. I have a lot more rock CDs. You guys need to subscribe and check out my CD collection. I also made one earlier, and yeah, thanks, Himmler. And by the way, just curious, Adolf Himmler, is that your real name? Just curious. Johann Strauss Jr., a.k.a. the waltz guy. Dun, 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 dun. That guy. Tchaikovsky's Nutcracker. Tchaikovsky was the greatest composer of ballets. And no, I don't like the fruity dancing. I am straight, by the way. Gemini Hinzugfrugd. Let me see if I can pronounce this. Gemeinde Henzugvocht. Is that how you pronounce it? It's a German name for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, the Nutcracker is the greatest ballet ever written. And it's good music to listen to at Christmas. And it's obviously the best Christmas music. And I don't like Christmas music, but yeah. This is Vivaldi's Four Seasons. Vivaldi was probably the greatest Baroque composer of violin music. And he was also a priest. But and it also has some concertos. It has the mandolin concerto, trumpet concerto, oboe concerto. Yeah. Are you scared of big black veiny dudes? Or I don't know what that means, but whatever. And last but not least, we have more Vivaldi, and this is just random concertos. Big black veiny dudes. I don't know what that means. Anyway, that's all my classical bop music. I also have a bunch of burned ones, but I have that on my other live stream, which is just my CD collection. Thanks for everyone who watched. Himmler. And, oh, I can go back here. Curly Heart. Speaking of, Neva Fan the Great. Just everybody who commented. Thanks for commenting. And by the way, is there any other metal bands you guys like? And I'll tell you if I like them real quick. But you have to do it quick because I'm same as ready to sign off. So anybody got another metal band you want my opinion on? Okay, this is your last chance. I guess not. Well, thanks for watching, and see you later on the Hillbilly Review channel.